Well, Nat,
Yes.
we finally got out of Thailand to go on holiday, right?
Yes.
And we made it all the way to Hawaii. And the problem was our car broke down, our rental car broke down in the middle of sugarcane fields, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's all a good story, isn't it? Not what happened. Yeah, we wish we could go somewhere, but we're in Isan in the sugarcane, that's right. But the reason I did that was because going down the road and I saw these little roads in the middle of the sugarcane, it did remind me of my time in Hawaii, going through the sugarcane fields. In fact, I got some stories about that. In the middle of the night, I was going down a road in Hawaii near the sugarcane field, and there's no outside lights, there's no, artificial lighting. So there was no moon that night, and I stopped and got out of the car and looked up at the sky, and oh my God, I've never seen stars like that in my life. One day, hopefully I'll be able to take Nat to Hawaii and to experience that. Also, I'd love to take her to see the Northern Lights. I've never seen those myself. But anyway, this is sort of cool, right?
Yeah.
And the reason we stopped is because pretty soon they're already starting to do what?
Cutting.
That's right. They're already starting to cut all this sugar cane. So this won't be
burning.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of times they burn this down. Do they burn before they cut it so it's easy to cut? Is that what they do, or burn after?
Before they burn before and cut. Now I saw them cut and burn later. I don't know.
So it's either burn and cut or cut and burn.
Yeah.
We're not sure which. But anyway, just thought we'd play a little. It's not April Fool's. It's New Year's, right?
New Year, yeah.
Happy 2022. That's right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year from JC and Nat.
And in Hawaii.
Yeah, from Hawaii. I'm JC. This is Nat. Together we've helped hundreds of foreigners get more life for less money by having a retirement in Thailand. Now we've set out on a new adventure with the help of Danoi, Kakao, and Gopher. Together, join us on our journey while we turn this into this and make a full forest and help make Thailand green again. So the other day we were driving down the little road to get into our property, and I looked at Nat and said, "What's that?" And I noticed, what did we see on the trees here?
Pork.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that is, it means termites. Now, we have a termite, I don't want to say termite problem, but they're prolific. I think because this was a potato farm at one time, that they're underground eating all the remnants, the wood fiber from all these potatoes, but I'm not sure about that. But if you put down a piece of wood in the ground, on the ground or whatever, doesn't take long before the termites start munching on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were going down the road here, and I said, "Nat, look at our trees. Our trees are covered with the, I don't know what you call it, because they burrow underneath, create an outer layer from the clay, and they burrow up inside that." Hope the wind's not too loud. We got a little dead cat on the microphone. Hopefully that'll. And if you check this out, if you can see our gate. It started out as a chicken gate, keep the chickens out. Now we'd like to actually have a real gate, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're working on putting one up, but the elevation, there's an elevation change from where you see the pole over there to where Nat's standing. And so it'd be at an angle, so we got to figure out how to put a gate on here to keep the chickens out, and the kids just climb over top of that thing, and that's why it gets knocked down so easily. It's not working too good. The plastic that it's made of keeps breaking. But anyway, let me show you. Now let's show them what we're talking about. Here's an example on our neighbor's tree. And if you look, you can see how the termites you can see how the termites are burrowing onto the bark here around that tree. So I always thought that termites couldn't attack like live trees, living wood, stuff like that. It had to be old trees. So we had 3 trees here, one here, one here, and one here that were basically covered with that as well. So I said, let's give this a shot. So we put some chainrite around the base of the tree. Now I don't like using pesticides and stuff. I'm not a big fan. But this was an issue I thought we really needed to address quick. But as you can see, they were going up this tree, and they were gotten up pretty far up into the tree. So we put the chainrite around it, and it seems to have worked. They're no longer live termites on here. You can still see this excrement or whatever it is that they produce. That's still on the tree. Oh, there's still some live ones in there, Nat. I still see some in there scurrying around. So we haven't killed them yet. We'll probably have to put some more around it. But we're working on trying to eliminate this problem. And but termites are a big issue here in Thailand, at least in Isan. It was the same in Chiang Mai. It was a bad problem as well. But we're putting this chainrite pesticide around there, trying to stop the eating of our trees. Now, an interesting thing, and I was telling Nat this, when I was living in Florida, I had a house in the Tampa Bay area, and had beautiful oak trees, beautiful oak trees. And one day I was in the yard, and one of the limbs broke off and fell, and I looked inside this thing and said, well, I wonder why the limb fell off. And it had these big old white worms eating and burrowing into the limbs. And so we had a guy, I forget what his name was, his business name was the Tree Guy or something like that. And so I called him up and said, can you come out and take a look at my oak trees? And an old man showed up. Very cool. You could tell he'd been doing this a long time. And I said, can you help me out with my oak trees, because the limbs are falling off, and you can hear, check this out. And he picked up the limb, he looked, saw the worm inside and stuff. And I said, is there something you can spray these with or something? He says, well, we could do that, but that's not going to solve the problem. He said, I'm going to give you some fertilizer, and I'll show you how far out from the trunk to place the fertilizer, keep it watered and go into the ground. He says the reason that these are attacking your trees is your trees aren't healthy. He says you make these trees healthy, those worms will go away. And I did, and they did. You know, this is the same thing, in my opinion, that we're facing around the world constantly. And this is, I've always been interested in health since I was like 15 years old. You know, my family was involved in the medical community, and so I learned from an early age that it isn't the germ, it's the territory. And this is why people can come in contact with the same antigen on a bus, in a school, or anywhere, in an office. Not everybody gets sick. Only certain people, and it's because their immune system is weak, where the other people's immune system kicks in and takes care of it. They develop no symptoms. And so I'm going to get some fertilizer for those trees and get them strong and healthy, and hopefully that'll resolve the problem. But as you go down the road, they're attacking all these trees. And so we'll see how that works out, and I'll be reporting back to you about that. But I wanted to update you with our termite issue on the property. You know, we go through and check out all our plants, you know, do walkthroughs. And I noticed the other day, one of our plants, the papaya tree, was not looking good, was it, Nat?
No, we have the white thing on
It had this white stuff all over it. And I said to Nat, we got to fix this. I'll show you the papaya tree. And this was it. And you can still see on some of the leaves here, and the base, the stem, what I'm talking about. There's this white stuff on it. And we whipped up a batch of garlic and some detergent that's supposed to kill or get rid of a lot of bugs. I'm not sure. I got to do some research and find out what is eating these guys. But you can see it's a big issue on this tree, and we don't want it to spread around. But we sprayed it about 2 or 3 days ago, and they still have this on there. So we got to figure out what this is and work on that, because this was one of our strongest papayas, and now it's facing whatever this plague is that we've got. And we got to get it vaccinated. No, I mean fertilized, and get the stuff off of it, whatever it is. But because we love papaya, you know, I like ripe papaya. I think this is actually one of the papayas, the Holland papaya, which are the ones I eat. We've planted some other papayas that Nat will use that are the bigger variety, like Florida papayas and stuff like that, that they actually eat green and make the papaya salad out of. But hopefully we'll get this guy straightened out, and because I'd hate to lose that guy. He was strong, and I had a lot of hope for him. Anyway, that's our papaya story. One of the cool things that's been growing, Nat will show you, is this tree is what?
Guava.
Guava. I thought she would say frond. But look at these. Look how big they're getting.
Yeah, almost same my hand.
Oh, looking good, Nat.
More, have more here.
Yeah, and so we've noticed other people, what they do is put plastic bags around these things. And I'm not sure exactly why. We'll have to look into that. And we might be doing that to try and make sure whatever it is that attacks them, or maybe they grow better, I'm not sure. But another thing we need to do, when we sprayed our papaya, we actually sprayed this as well, because as you can see, we've got some kind of worm that's eating the leaves of our guava or farang as well. So hopefully we'll get this remedied as well. But we're looking forward, excited. There's a lot of guavas growing on this little tree, right?
Yes.
And you can see it's not that big. Stand next to it now. It's not that much bigger than she is, but we've got a lot of fruit on it. So this is exciting. It'll be I think our first fruit, except for mulberries, that we'll be eating off of our little farm, right? Yeah, cool. You like farang? So Nat, you know, I've been here over 20 years, and even after that much time, there's things that I run into that I'm not familiar with, or haven't tried, or haven't experienced here in Thailand. And one of those things happened the other day. Nat and I were going down the road, and I'm always asking her when I see these stands on the side of the road selling things, what are they selling? And sometimes we go by so fast, she goes, well, I don't know. But the other day we were going down the road and we saw something, and I said, Nat, what are they selling? And that's what they were selling. Now, if I was by myself, I would have said, well, that's some kind of rutabaga or turnip or something like that. Obviously, it's a tuber of some kind. And she said something about, yeah, you eat it, it's sort of sweet. And I said, sweet, what? And so we stopped and we bought some. Now, how much was this?
Kilo 25 baht.
25 baht for a kilo. So that's like 2.2 pounds for less than $1 US. And we brought them home, and I said, okay, I'll go ahead and try one of these things. You have to cook it? She said, no. You just peel it and eat it.
Yeah.
So I watched her peel the thing, and then she gave it to me, and it looks just like a potato. You would think, you know, oh, you got to cook these things for sure. But you eat it.
The Thai call man gao.
Mangao. What is that in English?
I don't know.
Oh, potato.
Yeah, potato.
I'm not even sure how to describe the flavor. You sort of know you're eating a tuber, but it does have a hint of sweetness. But it's got the consistency of, not of an apple, but something like an apple, you know? Yeah. So mangao, if you're in Thailand, check this out. Try one of these things. They're not expensive. And grab some and just peel off the outside and take a bite and see what you think. If you tell me if you like it, or if you think, you know, now I'll pass on it. I can see where it'd be filling. If you needed calories, excess calories or something like that, or you didn't have a lot of food, these things would be good for a famine for sure, because it would fill people up. Yeah, or a snack, yeah. Anyway, Mangao, check them out, give them a try, and let me know what you think. So Nat and I were in a little town that's not far, from about 25 minutes from here, and they had a great shop, which was a nursery where they sold trees and plants and stuff like that. And every once in a while you come across a really good deal. Now, we've planted almost all our trees from how big? Little guys, you know, our eucalyptus now are, you know, 8 feet tall or something like that. They were planted from little guys. Everything was been planted from little guys. But I'm thinking to Nat, we need to start planting something a little bit bigger. And so we went down the road one day and we were at a nursery, and I saw a little tree but small, and I said, wow, that's a great deal for this tree. So we went and checked this out. So we upgraded our collection of plants, or trees. We got a big tree to plant in Nat's garden. You can see how far it's sticking out the truck, right? And this one's a flowering tree, right?
Yeah, flower.
You know what kind of flowers it has?
Purple flower.
Purple flowers.
Yeah, they call it incanin.
Wow. And the reason we bought this one is we need some bigger trees, because some of them are really small that we have. But also, guess how much that was? It's only 450 baht. And Happy New Year, a bag of oranges to go with it. So there you go. A new addition to our garden, right? Yes. All right. And so we bought that. We've got it home now, and we're going to plant this, and we'll show you where we're going to plant this tree. This is going to be Nat's little garden. And hopefully this week I'm going to get some eucalyptus poles. It's been a little difficult to get them lately because people have been doing, first it was a rice harvest, sugarcane harvest, planting potatoes. There's always something, and these people are multitasking. So the people that usually are cutting eucalyptus trees for the wood or the little poles haven't been working too much, but we're going to get some of those. I'm going to put up a shade house in the middle of this area for Nat to do her gardening and stuff underneath. But how long ago did we buy that little tree down straight ahead? The one down there. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that?
Something like that.
And that's been in the ground. But this guy, for 450 baht, I couldn't pass this guy up. And so it's probably about 10 feet tall, something like that. And we've got the hole dug, and we're going to get that in the ground today. For that amount of money, that's a good deal. Whenever we can find big trees like that for that amount of money, we're probably going to buy them. And we actually saw down the road a truck come the other day to some place that has like 3 little bungalows that they're making into like a little resort, and they planted some big trees. The truck came with the digger and the crane and everything, gonna dig the hole and they put those trees in. They had like 3 or 4. Oh, that'd be really nice to get a jump on some shade on the property before hot season comes again. And we'll be keeping looking into that. We saw a nursery that was out on the highway, and I think it was for 10,000 baht, which is about $330, something like that. We could buy 3 big trees. I mean big trees. And we thought about that, placing them around the house so we can get some shade on the building itself, try and keep it a little bit cooler. But we got to be real careful, because why? We can't plant in certain places because what, Nat? That's right, we can't shade our solar cells. And so that's something we always have to keep in mind. But Nat's going to go ahead and plant this baby up, and hopefully in another couple months we'll have some shade, right?
Yeah, this one long time already.
Yeah, this one we planted when we first started this, and it's taller than me. It's actually starting to take off now and getting some new growth on the top. And it took a while before it sort of gained traction, but right now It's about 7 or 8 feet tall, probably 8 feet. Yeah, about 8 feet. And so things are cooking, things are taking off, and we'll continue to plant. We'll continue to fertilize. I want to see what the potatoes that grew in this land. They probably depleted the soil of something, and I want to know what that is. So maybe I can, if I know what that is, I can start replenishing that by finding out what it is, getting the proper fertilizer to supplement that, and adding that around the trees and stuff, and give it a boost of whatever they're lacking, because some things are having difficulty taking off. You can see they're struggling. They're not growing real fast. And so we'll see. We'll do a little investigation about that and try and figure out what that is. But there you go. Hope everybody has a great 2022. Hope your plans get put into action and you work towards your dream for whatever it is you want for this year. So take care. See ya. JC and Nat out.
Happy New Year.
Just a little update before we say goodbye, and that is our papaya. It was papaya mealy bugs that we had the issue with. So I looked it up and found out that I could put the diatomaceous earth, which we have some of, and alcohol are two of the things that will kill the papaya mealy bugs. So we applied the alcohol and the diatomaceous earth to the papaya plant, and the little bushes seems to be a little bit healthier now than it was before. And the other thing was the termites. Now the termites, we didn't solve that issue yet, and I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to spray that chain right on the bark itself, because the powder doesn't get into all the nooks and crannies and those guys can scamper up. But it's better. Two of the trees look really good, but one of them still has an issue. So I'll keep you updated on that. But that's the scoop and the update. The sun's going down. Look at that. Another day on the farm. So anyway, that's the update. I'll be back at you soon with some more stuff. As you can see, I got a little sprinkler going there on the pond. Get some aeration. I got actually a fountain that's coming that I'm going to put on there as well, so we can get some air in there. And check till we have some fish. Speaking of fish, I got another update coming at you. Something I haven't done in a long time, and I'm going to check it out soon and share it with you. So keep abreast, subscribe, thumbs up, all that other good stuff everybody always says. It always does help. And think about becoming a member of our member site, because we're going to be opening a whole community site soon. And if you sign up now as a member, you'll get tenured in to the new community site with all the access to all the lessons for all the stuff that you need to know and learn to live over here. Visas and marriage and driver's license, all that stuff will be in lesson form. Pretty cool. Anyway, think about it. See ya. JC out. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.